Riverside.
Welcome to BJB Today. Monday. Happy Monday, everybody. Sounds like we're going to get more summery-like weather this week, so that's good. We're going to kind of recap baseball and softball, and it's kind of a disappointing weekend in that respect. Kind of set you up with what we're going to do here going forward through the next few weeks, and kind of look ahead to what we're going to do throughout the summer as well. And we really, really appreciate everybody's support. And again, if you can just pass this along and have people subscribe, it helps us out a ton. We've grown here over the last couple months since the end of basketball season. I guess last month. We played into April this year in basketball. But we've had some great guests, and we're planning to get more great guests here as the summer rolls along. So look forward to that. So we want to thank our wonderful sponsors. Infusion Brewing Company, just been with us forever. I'll be heading out there later today to check out everything they've got going on out there. So look for an update for that in the shows to come. Vino Moss was just there the other night. I'm just amazed at how that business has grown, and it's because of their customer service and their great wine selection. And then RTI Threads has just burst onto the scene and done a fantastic job putting out really high-quality Creighton merchandise. So please, 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 when you go into these sponsors, please say, hey, I saw you on Blue Jay Banner today. It helps us out a ton when we go back to them and ask for their support in the future. And thank you so much for doing that. All right, so let's start off with softball. Third straight year, the Jays have gotten to the finals of the Big East tournament. Third straight year they've gone down in defeat, unfortunately. They did beat UConn the first elimination game, got into that final game, got down early, tied it up, and then let it slip away in the late innings. They lost 8-3 to UConn, so UConn moving on to the softball tournament, NCAA softball tournament. The Jays season done at 32-27. I just feel momentum here. We're growing. We're getting better. We're getting better players. Now with the new softball facility, I think Krista has just done an outstanding job with the program, and really, I can't say enough about the fantastic growth of the program. So I think only better things to come here as we move on. And I would think next year this team's going to be one of the favorites in the league next year. So the next step, of course, is to win a few more non-conference games, do better in the spring when we play the higher quality non-conference teams, and perhaps at some point get in line for an at-large. With the growth of Nebraska's program, number 2 in the country, it's easy that we're going to get games against them. So we are going to play quality opponents. So congratulations on a great season, and we look forward to next year. Moving on to baseball. Wow, that was a disappointment. Jays lose 2 of 3 at home to Georgetown, a team that's not even qualifying for the NCAA tournament. Now, the good news is the Jays did qualify because Butler lost all their games. The Jays now have qualified for the Big East tournament, which begins in a week. We got one more series to go this week. But when you look back on it, besides, getting in the Big East tournament, which Creighton did, there was really nothing to be gained by beating Georgetown 3 times. Had they beat Georgetown 3 times, they still, to move out of last place, would still have to have won 2 out of 3. Had we swept, we would have been tied for first place. But then we would have had to have swept Xavier and hoped that St. John's lost. St. John's is playing Butler. Now, Butler's the fifth place team in the league, so they could come in and win a game against St. John's, certainly, which would have boosted us to the number one spot. But unless we swept all six, with the way the schedule broke out, it's probably not probable that we would have been conference champions in number one seed. So, we sweep Georgetown. Let's say we lose a game. Now we're at that point, UConn would have the tiebreaker. UConn plays Villanova, the worst team in the league, at Stores, so they're going to go 3-0. So, they're right now. UConn's battling St. John's for the title. So, I just think that the odds were that we weren't gonna win the title. We weren't gonna get second because we'd lose this tiebreaker. St. John's would lose it to UConn. We're a game behind Xavier now, but we win 2 out of 3. We'll be tied with Xavier at the end of the year and have the tiebreaker over them because we would have won the season series. So that would move us up to third. I don't know. Do we want to play St. John's? Do we want to play UConn? 6 of one, half dozen of the other. I think I would probably prefer UConn. I think we matched up with UConn a little better. St. John's has a pretty good Friday night starter, and they really have bats that maybe UConn doesn't quite have or match up. But at any rate, we got to beat them both, probably, in the Big East tournament to move on. So it all boils down to this weekend. The worst, like I said, the worst we're going to be is fourth, and we're going to play either St. John's or UConn, most likely. I guess we could play Xavier if things fell right. It doesn't seem probable, but at any rate, it could be. But it basically comes down to the Jays got to win 2 of 3 against Xavier, and then they would clinch at least third place. Even if St. John's and UConn would both have to lose 2 at that point, for the Jays to have any chance to win the title. So that's the way it sits out. Now, more concerning is the bats this weekend. We Sunday was just an unbelievable day where Georgetown walked over a dozen hitters, and we still couldn't push runs across. Our bats went silent over the weekend, and that's concerning here heading into these games. Now, the good thing is 2 of the 3 games at Xavier will be in Xavier's home park, which is a little bandbox, so fly balls are home runs there. As we mentioned before, Thursday, now it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday. They always move it up a day, the last series of the season. So it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday this weekend, and the first game, as we mentioned, will be played at the Reds Stadium. The Reds are going to play an afternoon game, and afterwards, Creighton and Xavier are going to play. So that's kind of exciting. So if you're in that area, or hey, got time to kill, go watch the Reds, and then watch the Jays and Musketeers play. I wonder if the pitching rotation will switch at all. I personally would like Jack Pino to get going on Thursday and get us that first win. Maybe the strategy will be we're in a bigger ballpark, so we stay with Shea Wint on Thursday. Less likely to score runs than we are at Xavier's ballpark. But at any rate, that's where we sit. So it really is going to come down to, again, I think these 4 teams are relatively even that are going to be in the Big East tournament. So I don't think it's a real big, huge advantage who you're playing or who you're not playing. You're going to have to beat them all pretty much to win the title. But again, as we know, in these 4-team double eliminations, that first game is crucial. You got to win that first game because you can avoid so many problems, especially when the first two. Then you're in the driver's seat to win the title. So let's see if the Jays can get some mojo going this weekend and then head into Cincinnati. I think the team is just going to stay there because they're in Cincinnati. Of course, that's where the tournament is at Prasco Park, another bandbox. But that'll be interesting to find out. So let's see what happens there. So 4 o'clock Thursday, 1 o'clock Friday, 2 o'clock Saturday. That's what the times are. Right now it shows Xavier TV. You know what that is? It looks like you just go on the site and pop it up. I don't think there's a charge. I don't know if it's going to be on ESPN Plus or not. I haven't decided that yet. I would think there's going to be so many huge games on ESPN Plus. It could be an issue, but at any rate, we'll keep you informed. Which brings me to my last point, and that's kind of the schedule here now. As the seasons slow down, now we only have baseball. And potentially they only have 2 weeks. So we're going to kind of be going to probably a 3-day-a-week show schedule. We may go 4 some weeks if we have more product. And we certainly will get back into a random J of the week game we play, trivia game we play with some contestants. And we'll do things like that. We'll also focus in on more of the basketball, try and get some more interviews with some of the recruits that are coming in. And then just various off-topic conversations. Wednesday, we're going to bring Mike Rochon, noted golf enthusiast, in, and we will preview the PGA. It's coming up next week as well, this week I should say, as well at Aronimink in Philadelphia. And we'll also give you an update a postmortem on the Creighton, Nebraska game, which is tomorrow night, 6 o'clock CHI Field. That's on Nebraska Public TV if you can't make it. And then we'll set you up for the Thursday game with Xavier. Talk a little preview of the baseball. And then Friday we'll recap the Thursday game and see where the Jays sit going into that Friday and Saturday games and what they have to do at that point. We'll have some results in obviously from the other games as well to let you know where they're sitting in the standings. Great, by the way, great. I think it's 35 years, is it? Yeah, 35th anniversary of the 91 team, baseball team this weekend. So Coach Henry and several others, Stoviak and Bennis were all there. So what a great reunion they had at CHI Field this weekend. So that was really cool. All right, that's going to wrap it up. No, we don't have any basketball news. Probably I'll get some more tomorrow. I'm going to be at a golf outing with some assistant coaches. So I'll get you some more information on Wednesday. We'll kind of talk about that as well. All right, folks, we really, really appreciate your support. Thanks so much, and we'll see you on Wednesday.